life can really beat you down. You have a hard day, week, month, years. We go through many seasons in our lives. I don't think you can be alive and not face challenges along the way. We watched fairy tales when we were kids, and even those had challenges, right? There was always like death of somebody, like a mother.
Yeah.
Always.
Fairy tales, there's always an evil.
There's always evil.
There's always evil in it.
There's an evil antagonist, often a stepmother of some kind.
Right.
Of course, there were witches and like those things, right? But that's evil. And then there's some epic battle against this evil in the person's life before they come out, right? With maybe some helpers along the way. And they persevere and live happily ever after. So we see this, and it tries to maybe prepare us for what's to come for us.
At early childhood, this is when we start listening to fairy tales.
We do.
Aesop's Fables.
Yes.
Sits with me.
Quite dark.
Yeah. Aesop's Fables, like that's one, but like it's almost like, it's preparing you, and you have no idea at the time, nor as a parent until I got into this field, what it was preparing us for.
Well, and funny you should say that. So according to the World Health Organization, estimates the average person goes through 1 to 3 major traumatic events in a lifetime.
Wow.
With an international study pointing to an average of 3.2 traumatic experiences per capita.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Now it makes me think of like, okay, what are my traumas?
Absolutely.
And did I just brush over them because I'm not thinking of anything?
Well, and this is the funny thing. So it says, if you know that going into it, which I don't think I knew going into my adulthood, I oddly had the very opposite thought that like things are just going to be smooth.
Oh,
that's really what my expectation was. But what we really need to do is make that a part of our expectation. We're going to go through hard things.
Absolutely.
Really, really hard things.
Yes.
So we all need to build resilience within ourselves. None of us want to welcome that adversity or trauma into our lives, difficult grief, loss, but we can't escape it. Death is coming.
You have no control over this. These are things you cannot control.
You can't control. You're going to lose a job, a friend, a family member. Like we're all going to go through these things. And you've heard us say this before, but we do not grow without pain. So even though we don't want the adversity, we don't want the trauma, we can come out the end of it with a profound personal transformation and growth.
Yes.
Individual growth. So doesn't mean you don't fantasize about maybe running away from life in the meantime when you're going through it, avoidance. But today we're going to explore what resiliency means and what you can do to build it within yourself in today's episode called Grit Happens.
Grit Happens. Welcome to Fit Mind Chats. Get comfortable, join us in our virtual therapy office, and get ready to gain insight into motivation that drives behaviors you don't understand. We are owners of Fit Mind Cleveland, a mental health private practice in Cleveland, Ohio, with grounded therapists that are approachable and meet you where you are in life. A place where you can see your strength and grow your greatness. I'm Abby Smeedy, an independently licensed clinical counselor.
And I'm Sarah Della Vella, a licensed independent social worker.
Okay, so the definition of resilience is the ability to adapt, recover, and keep moving after difficulties and setbacks.
You got it. Successfully adapting to life's challenges, challenging experiences through mental, emotional, or behavioral flexibility.
Ooh.
I threw that in because of the APA definition.
Yes.
I was like, oh, I like that.
I did the layman.
Yeah, that's cool, though, but that's exactly what it is. It's
because the APA is what I probably learned.
Yes, that's what we learn. I mean, it's interesting to know because we have these external circumstances outside of our control. Then we have an internal processing and reaction to it. And so how do we adapt to adversities? And, it's about the ways in which individuals view and engage the world. Your worldview matters.
Yes, it does.
B, the availability and quality of social resources. So if you have like a good, strong social network, it can really help pull you through. And then coping skills, which we teach all the time.
They're not fun always to use.
No.
But we teach them, and I honestly think, kind of connecting with this, as I feel like our generation, Sarah and I are in our 40s and 50s, like resilience is built a little easier because I feel like now we coddle a little more. We don't let as much stuff happen. We're in the 80s. I could juggle knives.
Oh my God. My parents were like, go out, leave the house, and
you
just
better
don't
not
ride
come
around.
back. Yeah.
Don't come back until the street lamps come on.
Yeah. No one wants you in this house right now. Go to the pool till 8:45 rest period. So I feel like there was a little bit more grit and resilience because you had to deal with life's problems. And I feel like, and we had this discussion earlier, I feel like we were of the mindset, leave no evidence and hide things and not tell.
Oh, 1,000%.
You were like, no evidence left.
No, you hid the evidence. Like, because if your parents didn't see it, it never happened.
I would never, ever take a disposable camera or any camera out to any social event that I went to, because that's evidence.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to document every second of every day.
Yes.
I just said there were some younger people drinking over the 4th of July, and I saw it on their social media. And I was like, what are you doing? If that was us, those cans would have been at the dump. They wouldn't have been in my car. You would not have any evidence. If someone accused me, I would lie to my grave and be like, I absolutely didn't do that. No way. Prove it.
My brother had a huge party when we were in high school. I was like a freshman. I vomited all over the place. My first time ever drinking. He hid all of the evidence. My parents would never have known, except that the one towel that he left not cleaned up. And my mom was like, it smells like throw up. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, Mom. Maybe it was somebody, I don't know, just something gross. And she was like, she believed me. Because no other evidence.
You can't prove
everything.
Now it would be on a camera. Someone would have videotaped it. Snapchat, that disappears. You can screenshot it, my friends. Yeah. So I feel like resilience with us, but I mean, I guess the good thing is like they're gonna have to come clean easier. Where with us, there was no coming clean. I wasn't coming clean.
I was gonna say that might be a good point. Is like our kids are learning to face the consequences because they're documenting it.
Because they're idiots and documenting it. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're getting confronted on it, whether it's school, parents, other kids.
Maybe they were. Maybe I should change it. They are not idiots. Maybe they have some other ulterior plan here. But like for us, it was always like, oh no. No, if you're going to eat one cookie out of that box, you're not supposed to touch those because your mom was making some recipe with them. You better eat the whole box. And then throw away the box in a trash can that's not in your own home. Yeah. Down the street, your neighbor, the dump. I don't know. There was a dump where, I mean, literally, I would have a backpack full of crap that I would take to because I'm like, I wouldn't even throw it in a dumpster. Yeah. My fingerprints were on it. That was, maybe I was.
That's a little extreme.
But kind of leading into that, this is the example I thought of in my own life. When I was in grad school, I interviewed for a graduate assistant position. Mm-hmm. I was when I entered this program, I think I was a rock star. Like, I mean, I was pretty good at what I was doing. I was getting good grades. Like, I was like making really good relationships with professors. And so I'm like, I'm gonna interview for this. And there was a panel of 10 people because you were interviewing for not only the counseling office, the library, the student services, bookstore. Gotcha. You were interviewing for assistantships with everyone. Gotcha. There were 10 department heads. Oof. So I was in my big girl suit and I prepared for the research by researching all the departments and their needs. Like I interviewed the previous TAs and GAs and was like, hey, what does this position entail? What should I say to get it? What qualities do I need? You know, I spent a lot of time on this. So with that being said, I'm in a chair and I'm facing 10 people. Yep. And they're asking me questions. Yep. First 3 or 4, nailing. Yep. The 5th comes the library head. Okay. He was a Korean gentleman with a very thick accent. Yeah. Could not understand him. Oh. And it was a hiccup. And I was feeling pretty good. So I had to ask him to repeat it. And then I got in my head. And I couldn't understand him again. Yep. So I was like...
You're panicking.
I'm panicking at this point. Because I'm like, now I look rude. This gentleman is going to hate me. Like, I am insulting his culture because I cannot understand what this man's saying. Everyone else seems to know. I do not. So I asked for a 3rd time. And I'm like, I am so sorry. I didn't hear that. He repeats it in a loud voice. And I don't know why this came out of my mouth. But I said, I can't hear you. I have a hearing disability. I want to preface that I do not have a hearing disability at all. Yeah. So I've now said this, and it's out there. And I mean, you want to talk about panic? I instantly started sweating. I sweat through my suit. My hair is wet. Like, I am sweating so bad. I got 5 more people like giving me questions. The rest of the 5 were, and then I made up a story about not having my hearing aid. Like, what?
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
You just dug deeper.
I doubled down in the worst possible way. Yeah. They're yelling at me. What do you think you could bring to the program? Like signing. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, longest hour of my life. Yep. So I get done. Yep. And I walk out, I'm drenched. And I'm like, I'm ready to throw up. Like, I am like, what did I just do? And I'm like, and my initial response is like, I'm gonna have to get a hearing aid. I'm gonna go with this. And then I'm like, this is bad. I just lied about having a disability. Yeah. It doesn't get worse than lying about having a disability. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get kicked out of school. So I spent 20 minutes toiling and then I walked up to my advisor's office and she's like, wow, what happened to you? 'Cause I was wet. And I was like, I just made a huge error. And she's like, what did you do? I go, I didn't understand the library head and I lied about having a disability. And like, usually like, in the counseling department, they're really good about masking. And she's like, you did what? And I was like, I lied about a hearing disability and I don't know how to get out of this.
Yes.
And she's like, well, we're going to walk back down and you're going to tell them you lied. And I was like, oh my God.
Oh,
so I had to go back. Now I'm terrified of the Korean gentleman because like I've insulted his, I'm like, oh my God. And I had to explain to these people, pull myself out of the running. I was no longer a candidate and admit that I lied. So that was rough. But then it got around school that I did this. And I had a pretty good reputation. Yeah. So in all that, like, I mean, I dreaded school. Like I was like, do I drop out? Do I switch schools? What am I going to do? I was in my first class. It was group therapy and my entire, like there were only 15 of us. So we were all in the same classes. Yeah. And I was like, okay, guys, I'm going to address the elephant in the room because this is what happened. I know there's a lot of rumors what happened. This is what happened. I lied about having a disability and I feel terrible that I did this because it's probably, I'm scum of the earth for doing it. And I panicked. And like, it was, I thought that was going to be the worst moment. It was refreshing. Like everyone was like, oh my God, I totally get it. Like, that is hilarious. I'm like, it's really not. I lied. And I go, and guys, this is the sad part. I thought about going with it and getting a hearing aid on the black market.
Because to say I just lied.
I lied.
But everybody related to your panic. Yeah. Everyone. We were just talking about not being able to process things auditory. Like my auditory processing skills are so bad. So when someone's speaking a different language to me, when I was learning French in high school, I couldn't hear. I could not hear it. When someone gives me directions, of how to get to Drug Mart, and they're just telling me, I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, wait. So if I go down, I have to slow it down because I can't understand.
By the cabin club, like I have to get the
absolutely.
Or then I'll be like, I won't listen. I'm like, I'm just gonna figure it out. Because I feel like I don't know.
If I don't hear it 1 or 2 times, then I just go, okay, I'm gonna have to just like. Now, thank God we have GPS on our phone, so it's not as bad. But But the point being, what everybody related to was the panic and not knowing what to do, and then maybe, I mean, and lying. We've all done that too. When we're like, like we talk about little white lies in our last or a couple of podcasts ago. So all of that made you super relatable, and now you have complete relief from this.
Because I had so much shame. I mean, the shame that came with that to like, oh my God. And when I would tell people like out of the program, because I did tell like, you know, Jim at the time, he was my boyfriend. I told him, I told like my boss, and people's reactions were like, you did what? Like you lied about a disability? Like it did not make you feel better. No. Because you're like, maybe the worst thing ever. Like I lied about something and now karma's going to get me and I'm going to be deaf. In my field, you can't be. I mean, like I'm thinking like, you know. But there was so much shame and embarrassment. And I'm like, I was this well-respected human being in this program, killing life. And I just ended it on a panic lie. Like, I am so embarrassed. I am so ashamed. Like, people are going to think I'm a liar. But I came clean. And I'm like, well, you know, they know that I come clean from lying. So I felt a lot better. But that is like I mean, we've talked about that, I think, in a couple of different podcasts, is getting rid of that shame. And a lot of times it's just owning what you're ashamed of.
Well, the good news is resiliency can be taught. You can build those skills. And that's a really important message. And that's something that we're going to talk a little bit about, which is like, how do you build and become a more resilient and adaptive person? Because you are going to face challenges. Yeah. You are going to face, like, that's an incident where you turned it from adversity into a learning experience. And also it taught you, it's like, as long as I take ownership of it, it's actually pretty relatable.
It's easier to be honest.
Oh my God.
Than me getting a hearing aid, faking a hearing disability for 2 years, the rest of my life wearing a hearing aid that I don't need because I lied about. But I mean, like, if you think about it, like, I'm like, or I could just tell the truth. I say this all the time to kids in my office. I'm like, or you could just tell the truth. Yes. Be honest. But I feel like our upbringing taught us to lie. Yeah. Like, better hide it.
Well, and so you kind of wrote this about Brene Brown and resiliency. Yeah. She talks about the framework for how to build it. And maybe you want to talk about the reckoning phase.
Reckoning phase. This is the starting point where you recognize what you're feeling, the emotional reaction, the shame of lying about a disability. Yes. Yes. And you step into that arena to get curious about what we're actually feeling. Yes. And it was shame and embarrassment. Like, and those are the two feelings. Like, a lot of times it could have been anger, frustration, a secondary feeling. Yes. But when you dug in there, it's like, dude, I messed this up. Yes. Big time. It's not only like a $30,000 error. because I could have not paid for grad school.
Right.
My character
Yes.
was
Yes.
questioned. So the reckoning phase is like being like, man, I feel ashamed and embarrassed, and I don't like how that feels.
And you sought support, which I think is a crucial element in resiliency, is having a support network. So you go to your advisor and you step into the arena, which she has that famous quote from FDR.
Yeah. Oh God, you say it all the time.
The arena.
Yes. Wait, what? Oh, I love the quote. I just read it last night.
Yeah.
I can't remember it. I'm like, remember this for tomorrow's podcast.
Yeah. It's like a whole, anyway, but it's like, go out there, put yourself out there. Mm-hmm. You've got to and don't listen to the critics around you. Mm-hmm. I can't think of the FDR. Is it FDR or Theodore Roosevelt? It's a Roosevelt.
It's such a good, you said it in one of the other podcasts. It's a really good one that Brene Brown uses, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so true. And with this too, once again, we talk about vulnerability.
Yes.
That was vulnerability.
Huge. You have to. You have to be willing to face
you're feeling that
vulnerability.
If you're ashamed or you've done like something to build that resilience, it's almost, you got to go back to the vulnerability. And Brene says that all the time. You got to go back to that vulnerability state and be like, man, to be it. Yeah.
Because when she then, of course, your advisor then asked you to step out and go take ownership in front of that entire panel.
Oh yeah.
And then you did. So like you didn't have, you could have detached from all of that, decided to go get a hearing aid, decided to go get, I don't know, fake your disability. Quit school because you don't think you can face anybody anymore.
And go, and I'm like, I got to move out of Cleveland. I got to go to another school that they're not going to think I have a disability.
Yes.
These are all things.
Yeah. And she says, then the next step is like the rumble. So we own the narrative we've created about our setback by challenging our assumptions and unearthing the truth, in quotes, versus the fiction. Our brains tell us to protect our ego. We confront the raw emotions directly.
That's exactly what we did.
Yes.
Because you were like, the ego wanted to be like, have a hearing aid.
Yes. The ego is like, protect yourself.
Right.
Don't say that you were lying. That's like, because the ego says, I'm not a liar. I'm not a bad person. And you're not.
This makes me look like a bad person.
But it makes me look like, but instead when you own it and you go, okay, I panicked and I couldn't hear. And at the time you might not have had the words of like, auditory wise, like I don't process well.
Right.
So you didn't have those words at the time.
And I wouldn't have said that because I think they would not have hired me if I was like, oh, I'm a reader. If I read the instructions, I'm great.
Absolutely. You can't admit that.
You can't verbally say anything to me or I'll be like, what? So I would have not ever went that angle because I was like, oh, I got to look like the perfect candidate.
Well, and I think so then even the rumble, like it's the narrative people tell themselves. Right. You can turn to other things. Like you said, you could quit school, could gone and drank your face off and just decided like, I'm just going to be the girl that says that she for the rest of her life has a hearing disability and it's just minor. Like you could have, the narrative could have been, or it could have been
like cochlear surgery. But oh my God, the depths of life. What if someone was like, oh, I'd be such a brave person with her hearing, to my parents or to my friends. And
exactly.
Like, what? She doesn't have a hearing disability.
No. And the narrative you were trying to tell yourself was, oh my God, they're going to think I'm a bad person.
Yes.
But your advisor challenged that narrative. That's the rumble. That's like where you go to therapy. You go to a trusted other who's going to help you challenge that. You're not a bad person. You just had a moment where you panicked.
Complete lie. Yeah. And like, in my head, I didn't know any of this. But when my advisor was like, you're going to go down there and tell them, it'll be fine. And I was like, huh? Oh my God. Like I think I was almost crying at this point. Like,
I'm sure.
I was I don't usually get rattled like that, but hyperventilating. Like, I can't. Oh my God. They already hate me. I'm soaking wet. And
they already hate me.
Like,
assumption.
I'm not going to get it. She's like, you've got to pull your candidacy. You cannot. And I was like, okay. And then, and this has nothing to do with anything. The girl that got it was named Bunny. And that really grinded my gears. I was like, she didn't do any of the research. But I'm like,
Bunny.
But I lied about my disability. Like, she trumps whatever she could have said, like, I am an idiot and I will not do any of this work. And she wouldn't beat what I did. So, but yeah, Bunny got it. Bunny got it.
And her name is Bunny.
Her name was Bunny.
Is that like her?
I feel bad. If your name's Bunny, I don't mean anything by it, but like, I just could not.
That Bunny's just is it short for something? I'm just curious. I've never met a Bunny before.
I couldn't even look at her, Sarah. The Bunny. In my head, and then I had this like, oh my gosh, she took my spot. No, I gave that spot up when I lied.
And that's another narrative that we can use to protect our own egos. Like the key to resiliency is honesty.
Yeah, it's vulnerability and honesty. Like, I even after this happened, like I'm one of those people too. Like once I've said the truth, like I have to get it out. I think I went to get gas, and I think I told the attendant like what I did. Like, I mean, like I have to tell everyone now. Like,
Yes.
I got to clear my
Like,
conscience.
yes.
Listen to what happened to me today. And this
Yes.
person's probably like,
Uh-huh.
I don't care.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I think I told everyone that would listen. Like, look what I did. Like, this is a bad. Because I mean, once again, the narrative. I got to punish. I need someone to tell me how bad that is, which no one really did.
No, that's what was. So anytime you can challenge your own narrative, if you don't have friends or family members that help you do that in a productive or healthy way,
Yes.
maybe their narrative is actually more of a negative one. Yeah, you're right. You are a piece of shit.
Right.
How could you? You're worthless. Then that's not the person I want you to go to, because those that's labeling.
A trusted person.
It's someone who's objective, who's wise.
Right.
So, we becoming proactive in like who you surround yourself with is also a big piece of this.
And also, like, you might seek out that person's like, you're a piece of shit, because you want someone to confirm what your negative thinking is.
Oh my god.
Because that's not vulnerable.
That's true.
It's not vulnerable. Like, it's like, nope, I'm a bad person. I'm going to talk to someone that doesn't really like me, and they can tell me how awful I am. It might be your mother. Like, mothers sometimes will go that angle immediately. Like, instead of like, oh, you did what? No, you did not. You're an embarrassment to this family. Like, they might go that angle.
Go a different angle.
So you might have to, like, really look at yourself. Who am I choosing? Who am I choosing as my person?
Always consider your source.
Yes.
And then she talks about the revolution.
The revolution.
Yeah.
And that's the transformation that occurs. By processing your stories, learning from the situation. The thing I took away from this was, like, you can come back from anything.
You can.
You can come back from anything. You can say the worst thing possible. You can apologize.
You can pretend you have a disability.
I did. And people would, like, that is the worst thing. It's like, collecting money for a fake charity. That's the equivalent. It's the equivalent, man.
But again, it's so relatable. It isn't that bad,
Yeah.
actually. Like, so to the point of, like, once you understand where someone might be coming from, what might have with just bits and pieces of something make you feel like one way, you learn more about the person. You're like, oh, you're just so human.
Right.
Like, I've panicked before. My panic might have led to a different type of a lie.
Right.
And like, what's the difference?
Going back and owning it.
And then owning it. But that is where transformation happens. It's like you tolerated distress. Like, we have to learn distress tolerance.
Oh, yeah. That's a huge DBT.
That's a big resiliency.
Deep breathing, walking away, grounding yourself. Like, I have to tolerate this distress right now so I can think about how can I be vulnerable? Also being comfortable with being uncomfortable. Yeah. I'm going to be uncomfortable announcing this lie. Like, this is...
Taking accountability is never going to feel good. It's going
Until
to be distressing, I'll say.
It's going to be... You know what? Like, leading up to it, as anxiety always does.
Yes.
We're always super worried about what's going to happen. Once the event's through, you're done. And once you come clean, what's someone going to say to you? I mean, like, I don't know what I thought my classmates were going to say to me.
Good question.
Like, oh my God, you're scum. You're terrible. You need to be kicked out of this program. No one was going to say that.
Yep.
What would I say to... Almost think of this. What would you say to someone that was being vulnerable and like, yeah, I messed up.
Yep. Exactly.
I lied.
Yes. So our fears play a huge role in anxiety. So we think of the worst things. I'm going to be rejected. Everyone's going to hate me. They're going to... I'm going to be kicked out of the program.
I'm never getting
the
licensed.
worst things. I'm never getting licensed. I'm going to be a bartender.
I'm going to be a bartender for the rest of my life.
I won't... And that, again, not that there's anything wrong with bartenders, but that was not part of her dream.
I was
her dream
over
was
it.
To become a counselor.
I was over it, yeah.
Yes.
Bartending.
I mean, this is important steps to building is taking time. Yes. Acknowledge you're distressed. Be honest about how you feel. Journaling is huge. Like, if you need to go on a walk, do some yoga, meditate to kind of calm that, like, just kind of manage that stress level. But use some time to journal. How do I really feel? Am I embarrassed? Am I humiliated?
You're angry. What's that? No, those are secondary feelings. Yeah. What are you really, really disappointed in yourself?
Yes.
Shame, embarrassment. Yes. These are all things like that are super hard to deal with. And like,
Always.
I want you to think of a situation now that maybe didn't turn out the way you wanted it to be.
Yes.
How could you be vulnerable in that situation? Maybe it's something currently going on. Maybe it's something happened 20 years ago. This happened like over 20 years ago. But like, it sticks out. Yeah. It's a doozy. But like, think about that. How could I have been vulnerable in that? What could I have done to come clean, and how would that have changed? Or maybe you did come clean and it did change things. And that is what resilience is.
Yes.
That is it right there. Yeah, that you got through it.
Yep.
And you made it through. And if there's something you haven't made it through and you still nags at you, it's never too late.
That's the good news, is that the more that you practice this stuff, the better you get at it. Look back. That's the other thing that can help build resiliency, is look back on other really hard times in your life. What did you do? How did you get through it?
You got through it.
You did. And like, okay, so if I got through it and I was able to get through that last time, I bet I could. Mindset matters. I bet I can get through this time.
Oh.
Just it's going to hurt while I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to hurt. That's where, like, sometimes you're going through something, like I've had like divorces, deaths. You can't change those things.
Nope.
Like, someone dies in your life, there is no changing that.
Nope.
You don't fix that problem. There is no problem to be fixed. You just have to grieve. So you have to be able to tolerate those negative feelings.
It's uncomfortable.
Horribly uncomfortable. Because you're sad, you're angry, you're maybe despondent, maybe you can't get out of bed in the morning, maybe you're whatever you're struggling with. And you got to remind yourself, like, this is not forever. I will get through. And then practice the coping skills that hopefully you have. Maybe you go on walks, you do some more yoga,
maybe talk
go
to
out
someone.
with your friends,
Yeah,
you call up a therapist and say, join a grief group.
Yeah,
that's coping. Like, it's about finding things to help you through really difficult times. Not to change it, not to fix it, but just to know that, like, you have other people to support you,
right?
And you're doing things that actually just in the moment make you feel a little bit better, some relief.
And also, like, where can you be vulnerable? We talked about that earlier. Like, there are certain supports in your life that you're not going to go to because those are not your people.
Yes,
they're gonna look at you and be like, "What? That's horrible.
Yeah,
terrible."
Yes,
and judge. But there's people out there too, and if there's not, I mean, that's where a therapist probably comes in handy. Because I've had people come in and toil over telling me something, and when they finally say it, I'm like, "Oh gosh, thanks for letting me know." Like, one piece of you, like, that happened. It happened. Like, that whole phrase, "shit happens."
Yes,
it's true. It happens. You got to own it, work through it, and also nothing's that big that you can't work through it.
Yep.
I mean, there's people that's sitting in jail. Yes, there are, and they are paying the price for their mistakes. But, like, for them to truly get through that, it's being vulnerable, saying what I did, how it affected me, the shame that maybe they have around, maybe they don't, maybe they're a sociopath, but working through that would be huge. I mean, you're at least even if you're in prison, like, that is going to improve your quality of life. Yeah. And there's nothing that big. I mean, affairs seem to be, like, the big one, like, oh my God, I cheated.
People carry a lot of shame around now.
Shame.
And there's that shame resiliency theory.
Oh, we should do one on that.
So recognizing your triggers, understand what physical and emotional cues signal shame. For me, it's when I feel a flush of emotion, like even heat. Like if I feel like a shame, I can feel like almost like a gut punch with it. Like when I think of something that I feel really bad about, that's what happens. That's how I know, shame's here. Usually, once you realize that, you can be like, wait a minute, every human makes mistakes. So I'm just a human.
Right.
Okay, now I'm starting to combat my shame.
And a lot of people are like, oh my God, you're just justifying it. No, there's a difference. Justifying is like, I did it because. Being vulnerable is like, I did this.
I did this.
And
I don't like it.
I created this. I don't like how that made me feel. I don't like the person that I appear to be.
Yes, I'm going to be accountable. I did it. I don't like it, and I'm accountable for it. And also, I'm human, and humans make mistakes. Like, that's very different thing than being like justifying or rationalizing.
I lied because I wanted the job.
Yeah.
Like,
no, that wasn't it.
No, at all. Yes. And also, I think, like, with that too, sometimes when we're really shamed by something, it's because what we did bumped against our morals and values. And just you having those morals and values, you're not a bad person.
Yes.
Like, the shame you're feeling, let's reframe it. The shame you're feeling tells us that, you know what? You have good morals and values because you feel bad about it.
Yes. And you can feel bad about the behavior and it not speak to who you are.
Right. It's one piece, like a pizza. One piece of you. And we all have those pieces of pizza that we're like, God, I wish I had not done that.
Yes. Yes. You can practice critical self-awareness. So understanding what social and cultural expectations that drive shame.
Ooh,
you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Is there some sort of expectation on you? I'm not, there's a lot of expectations around being like a great cook. I'm not a great cook.
I cook 5 things good.
That's I think there's maybe some social pressure for women to be like the homemaker.
Right.
Like being a good one. I'm not
good at cleaning.
I'm terrible.
I don't care about it.
Hate it.
Our house is clean, but Jim is very neat, freakish clean. I am like, I leave crumbs. I mean, I like the floor to be nice, so the floors always look good. It always looks aesthetically nice.
Yeah, I would say like I'm a spot cleaner and like not a deep cleaner, but I dread deep cleaning until it gets to a point where I'm so grossed out by us that I start deep cleaning.
But think about the shame you have when someone shows up at your house. You're like, oh my
God. Don't look too closely.
We immediately jump in like, oh my God, I've been so busy this week.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, I hate cleaning.
I know.
It's a filthy mess in here.
It's filthy. And it isn't like, it's not like dog poop and it's not like rat droppings. It's not like, but it's just not it's just not like always put together. There's shit all over the place that needs to get put in its place, and that will take me a while. So there you go.
I have robot vacuums everywhere. I have a robot vacuum for every level.
I need that.
I love it. We got a new one that mops.
I need that.
It's not like, like it's not like a toothbrush, but like, yeah, it is kind of like, I mean, in my head, like, but why? Because I have shame that I'm not mopping. I've never mopped a day in my life. Like, so now I bought this thing that kind of mops, and I feel good about it because a shame drove that behavior because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna shame my floor sticky.
Well, I feel gross about it. I just want more help, and that's a good way to get help. But reaching out.
Yes.
Guys, reach out.
Sharing your experience. A lot of times, like, like this is what makes me sad that group therapy doesn't happen more.
I know.
Insurance doesn't pay for it. I won't get on my soapbox about that. But like when you're in a group of people and you're in the same boat and everyone's done something kind of shameful.
Yes.
It's really nice to like be vulnerable and comfortable and being being uncomfortable around these people. Because you're like, oh gosh, other people experience this. And sometimes in therapy, that's what you need to hear to be like, oh, that was bumping against your morals and values. Other people experience that. This is why you're behaving that way.
Yep.
If you want to change it, you can. If you don't, then you got to own it and move forward with your life.
Yes.
Speaking the shame. Oh, yes.
Yep.
The shame.
Speak it.
I think it's so important. Like, and that's like a huge thing we talk a lot about in therapy. Like, when people are really struggling, I'm like, is there shame? Nope. There's only like a couple feelings that drive, like the anger that's intense and the intense rage, shame, disappointment, embarrassment are three. I don't know, you might have other ones, but those three are the ones that just make it worse.
I mean, that's the thing is that like all my clients know how much I speak on shame, and like a lot of times I don't think people even know what it is.
Oh yeah, they're totally lost with it.
Like what they're like, nah, I don't think I feel ashamed. I don't think I have shame.
Why would I have shame?
And yet they're depressed and they're anxious, and then they tell me they're not good enough, and I'm like, well, I think there's shame there. So
we don't know how to show shame. We don't know what it feels really awful, but we don't know.
It feels really bad.
It feels bad. How do we show it? I don't know. Like, we're a scarlet letter. Like, I mean, how do I show shame? So a lot of times it comes out in anger.
Yes,
depression.
That's fair. Anxiety,
rage, and your anxiety, and then you're like, wow, there's some shame there.
And when you say anything out loud, it loses its power. So shame has a lot of power over people, and it will diminish your resiliency. But when you speak openly and you start taking the power away from it, you develop some resiliency against the shame.
Yes, so. That's great. So the takeaways with resilience is, like, to build it, if there's something that's really bothering you, causing you some distress, take a moment, step back, identify the feeling. Is it shame, disappointment, embarrassment? Because a lot of times we think, oh, it's anger and frustration and rage and depression. What is it? Okay, what was the situation? Did that bump against your morals and values? Okay, well, maybe you need to speak it out loud. And be vulnerable. Yes. The vulnerable piece is always like Brene Brown's her. She's on top of it.
Yep.
So yes. Yep. Okay, guys, we're going to wrap up today.
Well, thanks for tuning into today's episode of Fit Mind Chats. We'll see you next Monday for another session. If you have a question or you want a topic covered, follow us on Facebook, the Fit Mind Cleveland page, and message us. If you'd like to seek out therapy services, go to our website, fitmindcleveland.com, and contact us.
If you'd please leave us a rating, review, and share our podcast with family, friends, enemies, or anyone that needs it. We want to bring mental health access to all people that can benefit. Thank you.
Thanks.